Right? Sister asked me to do this lesson on the speckled bird, so we're gonna go ahead and get that out the way today. Alright? So let's get Hosea 1 and 10. Bring that out, please.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10.
Bring it out.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
So the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, right? Our people are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and we're supposed to be unnumberable, right? The white man does these things called census, right? And since slavery, they've separated us into these different categories that they want us in to make us think that we all aren't one people. You understand me? So we got the American Negro, the West Indian Negro, the Haitian, then we got Puerto Ricans and all the other Latinos, right? When all three of these people basically got off the same boat. They was picked up from the same area, right? But they don't consider themselves the same people, right? All these people was here at the same time, living, talking the same language, speaking to each other, living in harmony until Columbus came, and now Mexicans hate Puerto Ricans, Colombians hate Cubans, you know what I'm saying? Native Americans hate everybody. So it's just, that's what we are now. We're separated, but we're supposed to be as the sand of the sea. Can you go to the shore and count all the sand that's there?
No.
Huh? It's impossible, yo. That's the same thing with us. You'll never be able to count how many Israelites are on the earth, right? So go ahead.
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living Yahweh.
So in the place that it said that you are not his people, America, right? England, Africa, Asia, any place that you at right now scattered, where it's being said that you are an Asian or African American or a Latino, you know what I'm saying? Hispanic, Negro, whatever your title is right now, your so-called title, that's them telling you that you're not the children of the Most High. But that's where you're gonna find out that you actually are the children of the Most High. Because this truth is gonna reach the four corners of the earth before Yahweh Shai comes back. You understand? Go ahead and get that.
I got a different one. Numbers 2 and 2. It's the book of Numbers, chapter 2, verse 2. Every man of the children of Israel shall pitch his own standard with the ensign of his father's house.
Right. So that's basically like you taking the sign, the tribal name of your father's house. That's what we was talking about. Right now, it seems my father's from the tribe of Gad, so I call myself a Gadite. Seems his father's from the tribe of Judah. His father's from the tribe of
myself a Judah.
So they call themselves Judites, right? So that's probably what the majority of y'all are. So I mean, we're like the sand of the sea, but we have different titles according to the house of our fathers. You understand that?
Hey, that brother left. Y'all can spread it all down. I know the man brought a aroma with him. It be like that sometimes.
Somebody give me Deuteronomy 28.
Got it? I get it.
And then Deuteronomy 28.
I got a question.
What's up?
So Judah, Benjamin, Levi is
The
also,
southern kingdom.
Yeah, they consider Judah. You know how they say Ephraim and
Right.
Judah?
Right, that's the southern
Ephraim would be
kingdom.
the rest
And
of
Ephraim is everybody else, the
Okay.
Israelites. Right, exactly. What's up? Who said something?
Didn't they refer to all the tribes as Jews?
No, the Jews are just 1, 2, and 3. The southern kingdom.
Southern Kingdom.
The Jewish people over there in Israel right now only claim to be one of these, but really Judah and Levi. They don't claim to be Benjamin. Go ahead.
Right. So when Paul went to go preach to the Gentiles,
I can't hear you, bro.
when Paul went to go preach to the Gentiles, and they said, no Jew or Greek, like
Right.
wasn't that Northern Kingdom he was speaking
It was
to?
Northern Kingdom, but it was Northern Kingdom, but he was also talking to specific Israelites in that captivity who were being called Greek, because in the book of Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6, they weren't allowed to call themselves Jews anymore, according to Antiochus the 5th, right? So, or the 6th? No, the 4th. Antiochus the 4th.
The centurion?
I don't know if he was a centurion. But they had a couple-
I'm thinking of Cornelius.
Yeah, right. No, Antiochus was the man who basically put us in the first Greek captivity that we was in. Cornelius was in Israel. But, in the book of Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6, we weren't allowed to call ourselves. Let's get it. Somebody read it for me. So I can show. I got it.
Good. All right. I got
Just,
it.
Right, we
hold
were
what
Hellenized.
you got. Yeah, right. That's what Hellene means, Hellenized, right? So everybody that was Hellenized was still in the Greek captivity with Paul. Paul was preaching to Hellenized Israelites, who were called Gentile, right? A Gentile, there's two definitions. The Hellenized one means that you're an Israelite that isn't calling yourself a Jew. You're probably speaking Greek, you understand me? And you're living through Greek customs, you feel? But you can still wake up if you come back. That's what the grafting in was for. Paul's the one that taught the grafting in. He was he was teaching for the people that aren't of this fold, like Yahushua said in the book of John, right? Who were the northern kingdom, who weren't there. But he's also talking to the Gentiles who were there, who were once Gentiles in their mind, right? But not Gentiles in the flesh. You feel what I'm saying? So go ahead.
2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts.
So Antiochus made a law that we couldn't keep our Sabbath days or ancient feasts. We couldn't keep none of that, right? And
or to profess himself to be at all to be a Jew.
so we couldn't even call ourselves a Jew when we were in that captivity.
was
So
outlawed.
we had people who were doing it because they knew that they were supposed to keep following the laws of the Most High, but they didn't call themselves Jews because they couldn't. Y'all want to come hear the word? All right. So they didn't know the kingdom. I got to try. So like, that's what it was, right? So that's who he was talking to when he says no, there's no Jew nor Greek. He was talking to Israelites that were over there because they the same people. But there were Israelites who were still following the law that didn't want to accept them people. Because, you know, they're like, well, we still following the law. They could be doing the same thing. Since they're not, we don't want to accept them. They're Gentiles right now. You know what I'm saying? But Paul had to say, no, bro, there's no Jew nor Greek. You know what I'm saying? We all the same under Yahushua. We all one body. You feel? You know, he was telling the truth.
But so have you ever heard people refer to
Lift
all
up your
of
voice,
them?
how it gets loud.
So you never heard anybody refer to all these people as Jews? I hear that a lot. Like they refer to just all of them as Jews for short.
That was never the case. The Jews were only the southern kingdom.
Of course.
Jew comes from the tribe of Judah. You understand? The name Jew comes from Judah. So the only people that could call themselves Jews was the people that were in the kingdom with Judah. You understand me?
That's the kingdom of Judah.
Right. Everybody else was called Israelites because that's what, you know, our forefather is, Israel.
That
You
was the
understand?
kingdom of Israel.
Judah is the head tribe. So they basically got their own kingdom. Ephraim became the head tribe of the northern kingdom. So he became the own kingdom. But we don't call ourselves Ephraimites. You understand me? Because Judah is still the head tribe. So, okay. That's why I need the microphone, yo. I'm trying to tell you.
You want to use it?
I've been,
You want to use your microphone,
Use
Elder?
your mic.
I can't strain my voice. I got to do it.
You gotta scream it out. Cry to
I ain't gonna have no event. Be out of
Consider
here.
all 12 tribes Jews, they don't know any better.
Yeah, it's just the
probably what he
Israelites.
said. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So if you ever heard anybody referring to all 12 tribes as Jews, they don't really know what they're talking about. They're not that educated yet. Unfortunately.
It's like you just hear other people shout to say,
Yeah,
we're the real Jews, as in the real tribes of the real nation of Israel, not the fake ones that's over there.
Right,
That's
because
where they're
now
saying.
Jew has become a worldwide tone to know
Generic.
it's a generic term for the 12 tribes of Israel, right? But really what it's supposed to be is, you know, 1, 2, and 3. Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Alright? So you got Deuteronomy 28. Right. Alright, bet. Alright, go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse
Now,
30.
now you don't have to yell now that you have the microphone.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
Right, so this lesson is about Israel being a speckled bird, right? Because we have a lot of Israelites right now that I call BOIs, right? Black only Israelites that don't want to accept all of the 12 tribes into the community because of some being light skinned now and everything, right? So they want to consider them the enemy. But there's plenty of precepts in the Bible proving that that's how we're supposed to do that. It's the same thing that you were just saying. Yahushua said that he has sheep that are not of this fold that he has to bring back, right? A lot of them is the northern kingdom. And a lot of us look different, but it's in the Bible. It tells us how we're going to look now. You understand what I'm saying? So you still have to accept him by trying the spirit by the spirit, like we said earlier. You feel what I'm saying? So read, continue on that and get verse 64.
Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
So verse 64 now. Because that's something that happened to us, right? It's going to go through that. That's a northern kingdom curse. The southern kingdom didn't have any land when they came here. They were brought here specifically as slaves. But our people was basically, we had land here and we were tilling the land for the white man. We didn't get to eat none of the stuff that we was making for them. You understand? None of the crops that we grew for them. It all went to them. You feel? So go ahead, verse 64.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right. So we're going to be scattered, right? Throughout the four corners of the earth. Somebody give me James 1:1. We're going to be scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And we used to be a nation that was not measured nor numbered, right? But us being scattered now allows the other nations to put us through census and stuff like that, where they could call us different names and make it seem like we like the least people on the planet. You feel? Go ahead.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And we're gonna serve other gods. Because a lot of our people are in these other nations not knowing that they're the Israelites. So they're Christians, they're Buddhists, they're Hindu, you understand me? They do Yoruba or all them other African religions for our brothers and sisters in West Africa and all the other places in Africa that we at. You understand me? So we're serving other gods right now. We're supposed to be serving the Most High Yahweh. You understand?
That's right.
Which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right. Get Job 8. What do y'all got?
This is the book of James, chapter 1 and verse 1. James, the son of the servant of...
What was it? No, just read.
James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings.
Right. So that's another precept in the New Testament telling you that we're the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. You understand me? This is James, Yahushai's brother. You understand? Greeting the 12 tribes that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So when they say that Yahushai is going to be saving people in other nations, right? That he came to all nations, he's talking about the Israelites that are scattered in all nations. You understand me? Those would be Gentiles because they're no longer they're in this current state being scattered. They're strangers to the covenant. They don't know about them being Israelites. They don't know that they got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. So that's what they are now. You understand me?
It's pepped up, man.
You got Job 8, Nick?
Yep.
Look at
Go ahead
it.
and bring that out
Feeling
again.
good.
This is the book of Job, chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire,
On something, yo.
Yeah.
I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Right. So we got to prepare ourselves to the search of our fathers, like the brother was bringing out earlier, right? That's something that we have to do in order to get us back to where we're supposed to be at. So a lot of our people who are waking up, they found out that they Israelites, right? Even of the northern kingdom, you feel me? Because they were able to do the search of their forefathers. So you can't just look at them and how they look now. He might be Jake, yo.
No, just keep teaching.
Go ahead. But so yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna prove it. It's very possible. You understand? Did I have you holding something?
James 1 and 1.
That got weird as
No.
hell.
I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1. Give me that. So here's how we became a speckled bird, right? Because
Bring it out.
a lot of our people will say, you know, well, y'all was raped. We brought out the Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 30 that says that another man will lie with your wife, right? So that woman, if she has a kid with that slave master, that kid wouldn't be an Israelite, right? But if she had a daughter, you feel me? And that daughter gets with a man that is an Israelite, their kid is going to be an Israelite. So if that happened over and over and over again, before the black man even came to America in 1619, as a slave, because you have to remember that the so-called Latino and Native Americans went through slavery basically 200 years before y'all got here. You understand me? So that's almost 200 years of rape that they had to go through. Almost 200 years of mixing with raped women that they had to go through, which would make the whole nation light-skinned. You feel? That doesn't make them not Israelites, though. You understand me? My uncle, Jerome, he's been married about 4 times. One of his wives was a Russian. You understand me? His 2 kids from that Russian lady look white. They don't look like they're related to me at all. But they my cousins, my first cousins. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing that happened back then. We had brothers and sisters that were getting together. The sister might have been a product of the slave master, but the man wasn't. So the kids are still Israelites. You feel? But the kids came out light-skinned because they might have took more of the genes of their mother than their father.
Teach out.
You understand me? That doesn't make them not Israel, though. Okay? So go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1.
Bring it out.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Gershites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Pezerites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
So these were 7 nations that were greater and mightier than now, right? We were supposed to kick them out and kill them. You understand me? So that we wouldn't make any covenants and sleep with their women. So that we wouldn't go through the things that our people were going through. But even in this time, before the so-called Latinos and Native Americans even got over here, right? We were still going to mix with the other nations. And you're going to see that. Go ahead.
And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
When I get Tobit chapter 4 verse 2.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them.
Right? Come on.
Neither shalt thou make marriage with them.
Right. So we weren't supposed to make marriages with these other nations, right? But since the time of our forefathers, we've been going off basically. So we started doing that. You understand? So even at this time, we have brothers and sisters that were looking different. You understand me? But none of these black only Israelites are considering that. They could be a descendant of an Israelite and a Jebusite. You understand me? Or a descendant of an Israelite and a Gergesite, and they don't even know it. You feel? Go ahead.
Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his sons, nor his daughters shalt thou take unto thy son.
Right. So we weren't supposed to give our sons to their daughters, or let our daughters get with their sons, because if we give our sons to their daughters, the kids still gonna be Israelites, right? But it's gonna look different, and it's gonna give the people in our nation the idea that they could do the same thing, that they could get with people from the other nations, which in turn could mess up our seed line, as it has. You understand me? So go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
And that was the biggest thing right there. Once you get with somebody from the other nations, it happened to King Solomon. He's the wisest man we basically had, right? And he had all these other women, all these concubines from all these different nations. And towards the end of his life, he started to go off. He started to follow their gods. He was turned away from the Most High. You understand?
Talking back. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you.
So the Most High became angry with us because we started getting with the women from the other nations, right? And our women started getting with the men from the other nations, and his fire was kindled against us. That's really what started pissing the Most High off. Because when we got the land, we were supposed to kill all these nations. Instead, we started making covenants with them, started having babies with them. And now we're still doing the same thing today. Since we've been out here, we've seen 3 different couples of Israelites with Edomites. Just in the time that we've been out here. You understand? So it's still happening even today, right?
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Right. So go ahead and get that Tobit. Because Tobit said the same thing. Tobit told us that there was a specific way we're supposed to act. Tobit chapter 4, verse 12.
This is the book of Tobit, chapter 4 and verse 12. Beware of all whoredom. Beware of all whoredom, my son.
Right. That's lucky. So it says, beware of all whoredom. What he's about to tell you is considered whoredom to the Most High, right? And there shall be no whore that enter the kingdom of heaven, right? Right. So you have to remember this. This is a very specific thing we're talking about right here, right? Go ahead.
And chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers.
So it says, chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, right?
Right.
This is Tobit telling us you should only be trying to get with a woman that's a so-called black, Latino, Native American Indian, or a person that's with us scattered abroad, right?
Get out.
And even then, if you can't really try the spirit, you shouldn't be getting with nobody scattered abroad. You should try to be safe and just get with somebody you know is an Israelite. You feel me? If you scattered with them, then y'all could do that. But, you know, better be safe than sorry, because it's whoredom. If you do it and you mess up, the Most High might not let you into the kingdom. You still got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments even to this day, right? Go ahead.
That's right. And take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe.
Right. So it says, take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. So you could have either taken a woman that's specifically from your father's tribe, or you could have went through like Jacob and just took another Israelite woman. You understand what I'm saying?
If I could say, you'll get people to come and they'll say, well, listen, they always want to find and nitpick what we doing. And then say, see, the Bible says you have to take a woman from your father's tribe. So y'all wicked for intermarrying between tribes, right? Just to nitpick, right? So what you have to show them is 1 Kings chapter 1, right? Go to that, 1 Kings chapter 1. Because people will scoff and say you have to marry within your tribe. But let's get the understanding of that. Let's not leave that up to debate, right? Yeah, hold it. What he got? Hold it for you.
Yeah, I'll read the first Kings.
1 Kings chapter 1. Read that.
This is 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 1.
We went over this in the class last night. Go ahead.
And again, the anger of the Most High was kindled against Israel.
1 Kings.
Oh, sloppy. That's same.
That's okay.
This is 1 Kings chapter 1, verse 1. Now King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with cloth.
Yo, come on, you struggling with this 1611, man. Get it in plain English. Hate that. Come on, read good.
Is this it?
1 Kings 1, verse 1. Bring it
Now
out.
King David was old and stricken in years.
There we go.
And they covered him with clothes, but he got no heat.
Because King David got old, he could no longer go out to war, right? The men was telling him, listen, man, you can't go out no more. You gonna get us killed because we gotta watch you. Because you can't move like you used to, David. Go ahead.
Wherefore his servant said unto him, let there be sought for my lord the king of a young virgin,
So they said, we're gonna bring him a woman to try to revitalize him. Go ahead.
and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord the king may get heat.
What is that? What we meant that the king may get heat, right?
Y'all know what that mean, right? We don't got to go into that, do you?
All right, go ahead.
So they sought for a fair damsel
And what they get him?
throughout all the coast of Israel.
And what they brought him?
Throughout all the coast of Israel.
That's a good point. What did they bring him? What kind of girl?
And found Abishag, a Shemunite, Shunammite,
Come on.
and brought her to the king.
Well, the people, the Shunamites are Issachar.
Con.
And King David is Judah. So when they try to say that you have to marry someone specifically from your tribe, that was for a certain time period after we had just come out of captivity and we had to replenish the tribes. All right? So I just wanted to bring that point out so that we cut that off before it begins. Go ahead, Ak.
And we wouldn't have needed to replenish the tribe if we didn't start going off, you know what I'm saying, like we were before.
Right.
So if you can get that, somebody get Proverbs 3:31 and then
Got it.
2 Chronicles 29:6.
I got both.
Yeah,
Where?
read them. Bring them up.
Which one you want first?
The Proverbs.
There's a book. There's a book of Proverbs. Chapter 3, verse 31.
Bring it out.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Right, so a lot of our people nowadays, right, just to skip to how it is right now, a lot of our people are getting with the white man or white woman, right, because they weren't allowed to have them back in the day. So,
Where they going?
I don't know. Somebody watched it?
A brother, go with them.
Yeah,
Good,
you got
good,
James. So, a lot of our people were are just trying to get with white folks right now because they couldn't have them in the past, right? It was the black man would get lynched for looking at a white woman the wrong way, right? Well, black women were bed wenches for a long time. So I guess a lot of them are going back to that mind state. You understand what I'm saying? From slavery. Because that's how the slave master used to get over us, right? They used to let us get married to a woman and then just go and sleep with her all the time. You feel what I'm saying? She'd be put above the man because she was getting different gifts from the slave master. And our women today seem to feel the same way or see that the same thing could happen basically. If they get them with a white man, they'll basically be raised up in society. You understand? But that's not the way it's supposed to be. That's envying the oppressor. You understand me? That's not what we're supposed to do. You could drop that again. Yeah.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 29, verse 6. For our fathers have trespassed and done that which was evil in the eyes of the Lord our God.
Right, so our fathers trespassed, right, and did what was evil in the eyes of the Lord our God. Didn't Tobit say that this is whoredom to get with people of the other nations, right? But that's the reason Israel's a speckled bird right now, because we started doing that. You understand me? Whether it was against our will or not. So, but you also have to understand, we were, a lot of them people are still Israel, because through the seed of their father, they never got raped. You understand me? It was the mom that got raped most of the time. Slave men or slave master men, cracker men that would get with our women. You understand? Same thing that was happening to the black man in slavery. The black woman would be the one in the bed with the master.
Massimo, he say put her in that cabin at the end.
You know your name?
Kizzy.
Kizzy Reynolds.
Gizzy Moore. I bought you. You're my property now. Cost a fair price. Enough for a payment on a cotton gin your overseer said. Well, Kizzy, I'm gonna get my money's worth right now. Now, Kizzy, I'd rather not hurt you, but I ain't got no time to play around.
You're gonna be all right, honey. Be all right.
Oh.
My name's Malazi. I was the cook. You best know about Master Tom, Mo. He's one of them white men that likes nigger women. Young'uns. Reckon he'd be bothering you most every night now. Wow. Used to bother me, but no more. No sense in fretting, child. Ain't nothing you can do about it. He keeps studying you till you has a baby, then he leaves you alone. Master Tom Mo no worse than most white men. Even fair. Depends on you. He figures you got to deserve what you get.